Hello, Dr. Maninda.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, Dr. Maninda Low. Before we start the session, please, all the attendees, please join as we have one of our spectacular speaker, Dr. Maninda Law, is the Vice President of Business Solutions and Member Experiences at Okada, Manila, where she leads a $200 million casino gaming operation and product development. With over 3 decades of hospitality and gaming experience across Asia and America, she now held with key roles at renowned properties Vietnam, City of Dreams, Hawaii. Dr. Low is passionate about developing future leaders and advancing the integrated resort industry in the Philippines. Her leadership and innovation has earned her global recognition, including being named one of the 35 global women thought leaders. She has been featured in the respected publications such as Mako Business, Sigma Magazine, and Conglomerate Magazine. Dr. Low is also a recipient of the 2024 CXO2 Business Leadership Excellence Award. So, a lot of awards on your under your cap, Dr. Maninda. So, the stage is all yours, and we are looking for your insights. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the nice introductions. Today my presentation is going to be the intersections of gender and leadership. Recently, there's actually not recent, but all this time there has always been research talking about the different style of leadership, especially between genders, male and female. So today we are going to go and explore the intersections of gender and leadership. Is there any um, real differences on that? So my agenda today is going to talk about the gender versus leadership. What is the difference? Is there any intersections between the two? And then the leadership styles, comparative analysis of feminine and masculine leadership styles, strategies for advancing gender equity in leadership organizations, point of view, strategies for advancing gender equity in leadership, feminine point of view. So now let's look at the two different leadership styles first. I'm not going to use male or female to at this point to kind of comparing the two. I would rather want to use the masculine and feminine style of leadership. So on masculine style, more you can see that the person will be more directive decisions making and focus on performance and result, and they are very risk takers. While the feminine style of leadership, we are more empathy and emotional intelligence. We are more on EI, collaborative decisions making, development of others, more like to nurture and want to develop others and help others to be success. So those are the two leadership style that I would put it up. The reason why I don't use male or female because currently um, I believe these two leadership style can be exchangeable. Some female leadership can be very uh, decisive making or performance and result driven, and also can be risk taken, just like masculine. But some of the masculine or some of the male leadership might also have involved some collaborative and like to develop others and other. So that's why I would rather use masculine and feminine style of leadership to compare the two. So let's dive into the comparative analysis for feminine and masculine leadership style. So this content, we do not really try to, it is important to understand that These styles are not exclusive for any gender. It's more comparative analysis which focus on the similarities, differences, and the context of different styles. So let's go overlap and flexibility. Definitely, just I just mentioned previously that I would rather using feminine and masculine because currently what I see in different leadership is that a lot of male leadership might have some compassionate um, that incorporate into their leadership style. So it is very overlapping and also flexible between the two genders currently. So it is very blended in for certain industry that I see. The second one is about the context and dependence. This is more depending on the organizational culture and also the industry of that leadership, the environment of that industry. Because once there is no one size fit all of any kind of leadership style. If you are more on the feminine leadership style, it doesn't mean that this style in that you currently carry might fit into any other industry that you go into or any other organizations that you go into. Let's take, for example, I work in an HR. I grew up with an HR industry, I could say, in the hospitality, where we are very it carry out a very feminine type of leadership style among us because at that time our HR department we have about 10 team members, but we only have one male members in there, so you can feel how feminine it is in HR at that moment, how our leaders carry out the 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 managing the HR. However, that is where I start learning my leadership style. Now I'm in the casino industry, which is more on the uh, male dominated industry. So my feminine kind of leadership style doesn't quite fit into this industry. That's why I do need to incorporate some of the masculine leadership style into my new style of leadership. That's why it's really based on the organizational culture and also the industry that you go into. You might have to adjust and amend some of your leadership styles to add more feminine or to reduce a little bit more feminine type of leadership styles. That is where you have to come in and adjust on that. The strength com- complement each other. So that is where we are saying each of the style carry different characteristics. So it really depends on which industry you go in and what type of company environment that you are in. That is where you might have to um, pull and add on a little bit more or deduct a little bit more on different of the um, leadership styles in there. It is very beneficial. Actually, it is very beneficial for the company to have a diverse leadership teams that combine both the two style because um, each of the style complement each other so nicely that it could better resolve any problem, any help resolving problem or creativity or and even the employee satisfactions. There are also the we have to also avoiding the complement avoid the stereotypes and bias in any organizations because once you have any leaders that carry the stereotype uh, or gender opinion opinionated or to come and lead the company. That really not helping the environment or the leadership in that company. It doesn't help at all because that would create a very unease environment for a lot of peers among them. We need to encourage leaders to develop a broad range of skills in regards to gender. We do have to look at their um, just like a jigsaw puzzle, which kind of styles that we're missing. We do need to develop that skills among the leaders to fill that gap. Evolutions over time. So currently, as I said, a lot of leaders is kind of very diverse and able to adjust between the feminine and masculine style of leadership. It probably due to the societal changes, which encourage each of the leaders to kind of develop different styles or combinations or diverse their personality and their leadership styles to help managing their team. For organizations, can we help in advancing gender equity in our leadership style? One is to promoting gender inclusive policy, which means that we have to implementing gender neutralized recruitment practices. We shouldn't look at gender. Gender should not be part of the selections criteria. We should look at their skills and ability. If that person capable of fulfilling the job requirement that we have. Second, we should encouraging mentorship and sponsorship within the organization. So now, what is difference between the mentorship and sponsorship? Mentorship is more like a person who can guide you towards certain development. But sponsorship is more advocate person who can bring you to that level. So we have to establish the formal mentorship program within the organizations to help our team member or our leaders to learn how to fill that gap that we need. Third, we need to challenging stereotype and unconscious bias. We have to promote the awareness training within the organizations on the stereotypes and also the bias that might have. Organization also need to create an inclusive work culture to foster work environment that encourage the diverse value of the leadership styles. Now, for us, feminine or female leadership, what can we and how can we improve our leadership style? First is don't shy out on your own ambitious and leadership identities. We should stand up for our own leadership identities and also be ambitious about what we want to achieve. Second is to build strategic network and find sponsor, not just a mentor. As I said, mentor is person who guide, but sponsor is the one who can lead you and bring you to the positions. So that's why we do need to strategically networking and to find that sponsors. Third, master influence and executive presence. So we have to be present. We need to be very confident and make sure that we speak with authority and clarity when we were in the leader meeting. We also have to develop the negotiation skills And this negotiation skills is not only negotiate with our vendor or our partner, but also to be able to negotiate for our own salary, promotions, and also opportunities. We also have to master the boardroom games, which means that we need to understand the decision making dynamics within our own organizations and how we could secure our own seat at that table. Now, number 5, continuously upskill and future proof your leadership. We need to, we always need to continuous learning. Learning is to stay ahead of the industry trend. And executive educations, this is to continuous learning that would provide us with those skills. Adapt, change, and innovation. So we have to be more flexible to embrace the technology, digital transformations, and also global leadership competitiveness. We also need to develop resilience, not to fall forward or pivot our strategy and how to develop our resilience. We have to lift as you climb, empower other women, to live as we climb, which means that we have to lift ourselves, we have to climb, and also need to be able to empower other female leaders to climb as we moving up, to be a role model to other women. We also have to create a support system among our female leaders, and we also have to advocate for workplace equity, equality, push for inclusive policy, fair pay, and leadership diversity. But last but not least, we have to define success on our own terms. We have to redefine work-life balance among ourselves. We also have to make intentional career choices, and we also have to stay true to our own values. Shouldn't allow anyone to deplete our own values. We should stay firm with what is our value. Need to believe in ourselves and be confident. As a conclusions, while gender can influence leadership tendencies, effective leadership transcend gender categories. The best outcomes emerge when organizations value and cultivate diverse leadership style suited to their unique needs. So thank you so much for your joining. Just wonder if anyone has any clarifications that I could kind of clarify for you.
Nice, Dr. Marinda. It was perfectly blended styles. Uh, so one of the questions is membership enough or is sponsorship the new standard? Or the second type of question is, are blended styles still rewarding mostly masculine traits?
I'm sorry, the questions again.
Uh, is mentorship enough, or is sponsorship the new standard according to your strategies?
According to my strategy, actually, mentorship, it really, mentorship can guide me and make me understand or lead me to learn new way. However, sponsorship are the person that would help me to get to the top or where I want to be.
Okay.
So the two is kind of different for me personally, I would like to have both. One mentor is whatever issues that I have, I can go and get the guideline from.
Oh,
However, the sponsorship are the one who, with especially in the company, if I can find a sponsorship who can see my skill and my ability, he or she can be the one that push me and give me opportunity to go one
mhm.
level up. Yeah.
Oh, it was nice, Dr. Manind. We have a couple of questions. We do send it
Yes.
to LinkedIn or the email which you have shared to us from other speakers.
Yes.
We do send their contacts. Please look into it and please answer. Thank you so much, Dr. Maninda, for being with us. It was lovely and nice to have you on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, all the speakers and all the delegates, attendees who have attended the virtual event. This marks the end of the session one in Paris time zone on the day one. Thank you for attending all the virtual summit, both attendees and speakers for their valuable inputs. Thank you one and all, and we will see everybody in the EST time zone, which is going to start in a couple of hours. Thank you so much. Namaste. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum.